Y'all, we are doing some honey jerk wings. If y'all know me, y'all know I love anything honey and anything wings. So let's get to making these honey jerk wings.
Ooh, I'm going to chemist. You know she got plenty food for me to eat.
Mommy, will you make it today?
Before we start on these crispy wings, we're going to start by making some green seasoning. Some people call it green seasoning, some people call it epis, some people call it sofrito. It really don't matter. It's pretty much is blended veggies. And baby, it goes good on everything. Trust and believe that. Now, these are the veggies that I use. I use 2 whole green peppers. Now, of course, take all the seeds out. If you want to leave the seeds in, that's your business. You are grown, but I take mine out. Now, I'm going to roughly chop this. You don't have to chop this to any kind of shape or size. It's just enough to get it into the blender. So I chopped it in about 5 pieces. Then I chopped it halfway just so I could get all of it into my blender. Or if you're using a food processor, or you can even use an immersion blender and put this all in a cup or a mug and blend it like that. However you do it, just make sure it all fits into whatever you're doing. It makes it a lot more easier. So after I get all my veggies prepped, I put them in this clear bowl, just so I can have them all in one piece. I'm using green bell peppers. I'm using 1 red bell pepper for a little bit of a sweetness, not much. And then the green onions are key in this green seasoning. Now, I know for sofrito, they use culantro instead of green onions or cilantro or some other kind of seasoning, or maybe even parsley. But like I said, each one is a little bit different. But in the midst of it all, it's blended veggies. Get those roughly chopped, just enough to fit in there, and then come on with the garlic. I may say add 4 bulbs of garlic to this, but you can add as much as you want to. We all know you can't really have too much garlic. And recipe calls for 1 piece of garlic, you need at least 3. Now, if you know me, you know I hate peeling garlic. But for this video, I just did it anyway. I used the flat part of my knife and I smashed the garlic down because I don't have to really chop it or mince it at all. I just got to get it out of the little piece of shell, skin, whatever's on it. Now, you can shave the shells and the skin for anything like making a vegetable stock or a chicken stock. Just put it in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the freezer. Now, add all your roughly chopped ingredients to the blender and add in some fresh rosemary, some fresh thyme. Now, usually I make sure to take all the rosemary off the stem and all the thyme as well, but the thyme is a little bit harder to take all the stuff off the stem, so I throw the whole thing on in there. Then get you some fresh lime and squeeze the juices of that lime in there. Do not put the whole lime in there. Please don't be crazy today. Just a little bit of juices in there. And then start blending. Blend it as smooth as my edges and make sure it is no lumps or chunks in there. And if you want, you can add a little bit of olive oil to it as well, but you don't have to do this part. And please don't add no salt. It do not need it. Now, usually when I normally use a lot of this green seasoning, I'll put it in a mason jar and put the top on and put it in my fridge. If you have anything extra, if you made a lot like I did, I use these silicone molds and I add into those and I freeze them in the freezer till they get real hard. Whoa. And then I put them in a Ziploc bag for later on. For like later on use, maybe for like a month from now or 2 months from now. That way, when you're ready to use it later on, you can just take it out the freezer, put it in a small bowl, and it will naturally melt in about 15, 20 minutes. And you can put it in your food. No problem. And because I had used no oil, it does freeze solid. Look at that. Now, put it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer, and you're good to go for another few months. Now, let's get on to that chicken wings. I got one question. Why is chicken wings $22? Like what? I was to pay $7 for a family pack of chicken wings just like a year ago. This is ridiculous. But this is all the ingredients that we're going to use to make these honey jerk wings. Now, I am really big on making my own chicken wings into wingettes. Buying wingettes costs way more than buying chicken wings whole and chopping it yourself. So I've been doing this for about 4-5 years now. So I know where to find the joint. I'm trying to show you out here, but you really can't see. You got to kind of feel it. So I find the joint. You kind of cut through the cartilage, it will slide right through, especially if you have a good knife like I do. And now you have 2 wingettes, not 2 wings at Wingstop. Get all that wings chopped up. You can leave the tips on if you want to. You can save the tips, that's your business. But get you into a bowl, add some jerk marinade or jerk seasoning to that. Also got this Spice Jamaica reggae blend. I added that to as well. Then coming with that green seasoning. I added about 2 hefty spoonfuls of this. You can be a little bit heavy-handed, but this is all blended veggies, no salt added to this as well. So you can be a little heavy-handed. Just don't use the whole jar. Now I'm going to start mixing it up. You're probably wondering, why did she add any more seasoning? Once I'm going to sauce my wings, I don't go too crazy on the seasonings, okay? Because that's the first layer of me seasoning right here. And then the second layer will be the actual sauce. The sauce is going to have way more seasonings in it than the actual wings did. But I'm still going to make sure it's seasoned to perfection, okay? Add your cornstarch to it because I like to have like a light, crispy batter, not a real thick batter on my wings. If you want to use flour and egg mixture, go ahead and do that. But I like my wings to be a fried heart and be skinty like me in high school before I put the sauce on them. Now, if you're not good at frying, stop guessing me and get you a food thermometer of some sort, please. I really feel the key to a perfect wing is having a perfect heat temperature on your oil. I get mine about 360, 365. I like mine's fried heart, but I still want it to be juicy on the inside. So I get it to 360, 365, then I drop the wings in. Do not overcrowd your pan, and the kind of pan that you use will determine how crispy your wings are. I use me a deep cast iron skillet, and look at those wings, y'all. Look at these wings. They are fried beautifully. There's no light spots. They all the same color all around the wing. That's the cornstarch right there. Trust me, it's a pro tip. Now that the wings are fried, that'll lay to the side. Let's go ahead and get on that honey jerk sauce. Cover with that butter. Yes, that much butter, and a little bit of ginger paste. You can use fresh ginger, but I love me some ginger paste. It's just so easier to use. Then I'm going to use this Dirty Jerk seasoning rub that someone sent me. I forgot who it was for us, but I think the name is Dirty Jerk. Season that real good, and remember to taste test whatever you're seasoning. Taste test it as you go so you make sure you have enough flavor and not too much salt to your food. I'm going to mix this up and cook this down with the butter and the ginger for about a minute or so. Then I'm coming in with a whole lot of honey. You don't have to add that much honey. I was being a bit on the heavy-handed side, but I really just love honey, y'all. Oh yeah, also added a splash of soy sauce. If you get too heavy with the soy sauce, it will be salty, and we do not want that. So just give it a little bit of splash, make everything start bubbling. A little bit of white wine vinegar to kind of cut the acidity and the sweetness down, and some lemon juice. Okay, now I'm adding the honey for real now. I added about maybe half the jar. I honestly forgot that when it comes to honey, the sauce will thicken as it cools. So it wasn't as thick as I wanted it to be, so I added a lot more honey to this part, but you do not have to add that much. It is the sweet factor that you need to it. It will still have a little bit of kick to it, but spiciness of the jerk seasoning and all that. But just kind of remember, when the sauce cools down, it will thicken. The longer you let the sauce reduce, the longer it will thicken, and it will taste just fine. Now the sauce is time to pull it up and toss them up. Like you be tossing those, oop. So get them in a big bowl. I call mine the flippity floppity bowl. That's the name. I'm going to patent it. I don't care what the real name is. It's the flippity floppity bowl. Throw that sauce in there and just start tossing them up. The sauce pour is key to every YouTube video. So if you don't have one, we're making wings, get one. If you're not good at tossing like I am, get you a little spoon, mix it up, twist it around a little bit. It's fried wings. It won't break apart. There's no batter on top of it to break it apart. Put them in a pineapple bowl for absolutely no reason at all but the aesthetic, and you got, boom, honey jerk wings. When I tell you, these wings are one of the best ones I've ever made in my entire life, and I am a wing girl here and forever. Now, I don't know if you like flats or you like drums, but it don't matter because they both chicken arms from the same chicken. But these chicken arms so good, baby, you don't even need no ranch. I love y'all. All right, bye.